Yes, your girl is tired tonight. So I was gonna start um Hufflepuff blanket tonight, but I'm tired. I'm just, I'm just barely like here tonight. So yeah. Let me try to get in on my other um on the computer so I can see. But yeah, I'm tired. I am tired. I spent much of the day making, trying to finish those lightsabers. And so I am tired mentally. I'm tired. I think I twisted this thing up in here. And we just gonna have to roll with it. I don't know how I got it twisted up in here, but it's twisted. I'm tired. I got the my charger twisted up in my yarn, and right now I don't have the wherewithal to fix it. So I think I am gonna fix it anyway because I don't want y'all to hear any scraping up against it. Let me see. Let me go ahead and fix it. I worked this weekend. Just I am tired. I did an event this weekend. Let's see. I got this thing screwed up in here, wrapped up in here. I think it's all on this side. Tell them, my bad, y'all. Give me just a second, cause I didn't even know this was wrapped up like around here like this. I'm trying to keep my phone on the charger, cause I've been on the phone all day. It's like at 50%. All right, I'm back. I got myself back together. Got myself back together. I said no. No, no, no. I can't wait to go in the house, go to bed. Try to move some of this yarn out of the screen. I don't really want to move it away because as soon as I start to put it up somewhere, I'm going to forget what I did with it. And I'm currently doing something with that yarn, so I don't want to misplace it. Hi, Nail Crusade. I don't want to misplace it because I'm currently making purses and things. And so I'm trying to keep up with it. Oh, thank you, Nail Crochet. Hey, Patty Shirts. How you doing this evening? How y'all doing this evening? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just a little tired. I had to focus in. I was making those lifesavers all day, and it kind of mentally drained me because of, ADHD, having to focus on one thing for a long time. And so they kind of made the day drag. Hi, Sherelle. Made my day kind of go slow. Because I was trying to get content out there. I started them yesterday and I finished them today. Oh, I love you too. And I have another event at the end of this month, and I did a pop-up event on Saturday. So I'm just like mentally I'm trying to like just reel everything in. I'm trying to reel my mind in. I probably should have drank some coffee today. I think I'm gonna drink some tomorrow because I still got some customs that I need to get done, and I need to be preparing for the end of this month. Thank you, Freedom. I appreciate it. And I just started making purses too, so I'm like, I'm really excited about that. I've been making granny square purses. So I'm excited to have those at the event at the end of the month. And I gotta make some more earrings. I got a long list of stuff. I forgot how demanding events were because I had laid off on doing events for a long time. So my social media is kind of like, you know, suffering just a tad because of it. Awesome. Thank you, Patty Shirts. I love teal. I love anything blue. I love it. If I could have a whole bunch of blue yarn, I wouldn't be mad at it. In different shades. I would love blue in different shades. Which I kind of have that already, but not like a lot of it. I kind of went on a buying blue a lot, but then I backed off. I was like, I don't need all that. I don't need to be having a whole lot of blue. But I have some teal ombre as well. And I was like, I only got one skein of it, so I need to go buy several more skeins of it. My hands are a little shaky. Crocheting all day. Been crocheting since about 10, so they're like, they're not cooperating. I usually try to take an hour. Oh, awesome. Awesome. We got ombre. That's the only one ombre I have with that teal in it. I don't know why I only bought one. Now, well, I know better now, so I'm planning on I collect me some. Maybe throw a little gold in it. Kind of do like a beach thing or some tan. I bet that's really pretty. I was in the middle. One, two, three. Let me see. One, two, three. I know that's not six. Only six. One, two, three, four. Hmm. Trying to count my rows before I get too far. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. That's what I thought it was. I thought it was eight. Hi, Hannah. Hannon. Hi, Bassmoto. I got like 8 more rows to do, and then I'll be changing colors. Gotta get my pen out of there. Hi, Rose. I'm gonna roll this up just a little bit so I can put hang on the table. Hi, Kathy. It really is. It really is. I promise. It's just so many pigs that makes it, look a little complicated. But all you're doing is wrapping the pegs in like a counterclockwise motion or like an incursive E. As a beginner, you could just wrap the pegs till you get used to it. And you just have to have two rows on there, like what I have here, and then just pick the bottom row up from the bottom and drop the stitch to the back. And that's where the stitches collects at in between the pegs. Oh, I bumped the computer. Thank you. I started with the round looms, and then I started doing a lot of research on YouTube. Uh-oh. Yes, I right here I have the garter stitch and the pearl stitch. Well, the garter stitch is a combination of the true knit stitch and pearl stitch, or E stitch and pearl stitch. But yeah, I have the garter stitch right here. You can do a lot of different other patterns. And I made baby booties with the rib stitch. So I've done rib stitches before. And this is the on the loom, this is the U stitch or the true knit stitch. So yeah, I've done different patterns or different stitches. I just tend to go back to the E stitch because it's just easier. Thank you, Kathy. It's just easier on my hands and stuff. So I try to lean more towards just making more stuff out of the E stitch. But you can do a lot of different stitches. Okay, this is gonna be row number 10. I'm trying to keep up with them without having to go through too much accounting. And this is the pearl stitch. How you would do the pearl stitch on here. The blanket getting heavier, so it's becoming a little bit more difficult to turn on the table. Yes, it's 7 stitches. I have 8 section off, but I never purl stitch on the first or last peg. Well, for you it is, and for me it's not. It's not a it's not a lot of work to me. It's very therapeutic to me. It just depends on you know, who who enjoys it, and I enjoy it, so it's not work. You're like, so when you start one, you'll start it with a slip knot, and you could place it pretty much anywhere you'd like to, and you wrap the pegs in like a counterclockwise motion, as if you're like writing it in cursive E or something like that. You know how like you were write. And so you put 2 rows on there, like I got 2 rows on here, and you start to knit it off, and it drops down in into the middle of it. Nope, never cramps up. That's why I have on gloves, and I have a pinched nerve as well that was not created by looming. So I have other ailments that bother me that was not created by looming. I have a pinched nerve. I have arthritis. None of that was created by looming, and I also crochet as well. I swear, Kathy. Yes, to me. It's like taking a deep breath. Every time I finish a row, it's like taking a deep breath in and slowly letting it out. I also have OCD, so that's why it helps me a lot too. And pairing it with some music or audio book is really relaxing too. No, they aren't all this big. They come in. This is one of the smallest ones. This one is a 24 peg, so I've made baby booties with this one. This is called a KB Afghan loom. So they're not all this big, and you don't have to just make blankets on it. You can make sweaters, scarves, hats. I've made beanies and scarves on here before. You can make sweaters, cardigans, hoodies, pants, skirts, dresses, all that stuff. It's just, all in a matter of making panels and sewing them together. And then since it goes up to 5 feet wide, you can pretty much make any size that you like to go up to. But yeah, there's a lot of different sizes of looms. And I have pretty much all those different sizes. No problem at all. Thank you all so much for the likes. I appreciate it. But yeah, it's like, you know how people pick at things and all that stuff. They get those nervous things where they pick at stuff, and this is kind of like that, you know. But you're accomplishing something. So I have like OCD. I have like a need to um, be in control, and I don't really like change, and I do repetitive stuff, and you know, most of the time when you do repetitive stuff, when you have OCD, it doesn't really accomplish anything, and so this is very tedious, and you know, for me, to where it gives me like I'm doing something over and over and over, but I'm getting something accomplished. So it helps a lot with getting me relaxed. Because for me, I used to like touch on doorknobs a lot, checking it like 3, 4 times to make sure it's locked. But we have dogs now, so that's help with that. And I try to be, you know, perfect. So this helps a lot with, you know, giving me something to keep my mind and my anxiety busy. Like the same way I'm starting this row now would be the way that you would start a blanket as a beginner. And you can, you know, learn all the other different stitches later after you got comfortable with it. I just highly suggest that if you're gonna like pick this up, is to start with variegated yarn. It helps a lot. It helps trick the mind and stuff while you're working on it, because with variegated yarn, you never really know how the colors are gonna come out, and as they start to like unfold and everything, it looks really pretty. So if you're gonna do it with yarn that changes colors on its own. That's how I started. And as a seasoned person, I don't really like changing colors anyway. But when I started this blanket, everybody kept asking me to do a Slytherin blanket, and I cannot sit up and look at solid colors. And I didn't really want to go and buy that much more yarn when I already had like the basic colors in my stash. So I just chose what colors I had in my stash, and just went with that. So that's the only reason why I don't have variegated yarn on here now. Most I usually go up to like 5. I go up 5 wide, 5 long. So I normally do like 4.5 skeins. Probably not even 4. It's a little over 4 of 400 plus yards of yarn. So I buy like their really big the Super Saver Jumbo. I buy 4 of these and make like 5 foot by 5 foot. Thank you, Royal. So you can buy like 4 of these and make a blanket with those. The only reason why I went over just a tad is because I went through 4, and then I was like, well, I need to try. I was learning the first time, and I wanted to try and do the border, and so that's how I ended up going a little bit over 4. No problem at all, Kathy. And I normally don't count rows. That's why I was saying y'all should get variegated yarn, because the colors are going to change when they're supposed to. I normally don't count rows. I usually get a measuring tape and measure out you know, when it starts to look like I'm getting to that point, because I made so many of these that I can kind of eyeball it. When it gets to like 3 or 4 feet, then I'm like, okay, it looks like I'm getting close to my length now. I need to start measuring it, you know, every other time that I work on it, to see if it's getting up to the length that I wanted it. So I don't count rows typically. because I don't like counting either. But since I have OCD, I'm gonna make sure like this, try my best to make sure that this comes out the right way. And then just in case you're curious, I am using this is I'm using this dark green right here is hunter green, and this green is patty green. So that's the colors I'm using. And this is 26, this is 10, and this is 16. And I only change colors on even rows because I'm very particular about that too, and you don't have to. But I only change rows on even rows because if you change colors on, I mean on odd rows, those are my all E-stitch rows. If you change colors on your pearl stitch rows, you'll end up with the back side. This is the back side of my blanket. This part, like where it skips in between the colors, will end up being on the front side. So I never change colors on this side of the blanket. I only do it on that side. So just in case that's something that you're interested in, I only change it on one end of the blanket when I start doing my E-stitch rows, so that you don't see that skip in between the colors. Now, if I'm doing variegated yarn and the variegated yarn does that, I because I'm in the mode of not stopping and trying to, be particular about it, I'll let the variegated yarn do it. But if I'm changing colors, I won't do it on my own. I'll just roll with it with this variegated yarn because I like to just, spend less time trying to doctor over it or, be very particular about it. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Kathy. So yeah, so that's what I do. Now, if you're doing all E-stitch, you won't have to worry about that. Whenever you change colors, it's all gonna change straight line like that. So you won't have to like be like, trying to make sure that you change colors in a certain way. But if you're mixing in other stitches, you have to kind of think about that, especially with pearl stitch. Because the pearl stitch is basically the opposite. Like, so that's all E stitches are gonna go like this, and all pearl stitches are gonna go like this. So that's what keeps it from curling, because they, opposites. And so that's why you get that color change on the outside with the pearl stitch. Thank y'all so much for the likes. I appreciate it. Now, next week, I'm going to try and start the not Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw blanket with y'all. I was going to do it tonight, but I was just really tired. And I'm hoping that next week I won't be as tired either. Maybe it's because it's a Monday. I don't know. But um, I'm going to try and start Ravenclaw on live. Show y'all how I started blanket. So if y'all want to tune in next week for that, I had just got in all my colors, or most of the colors that I'll need for it last week. I'm only doing 2 colors, but I don't think I have enough yarn, but I have enough to last me for a good little while. If anything, I need some more of the yellow, the particular yellow that I got. For right now. Hi Sally. Um, I typically go live on Sundays and Mondays. Hi Eva. And right now, I just have so many events going on that I've been like, no, we just gonna do one day a week. So when June gets here, hi Maria. When June gets here, I'll start back doing Sundays and Mondays again. It's just really tiresome because technically I go live here 2 days a week, and then I go live in another place 2 days a week. So I'm live 4 days a week. So it's just really, tiresome, especially when I have other stuff to I'm making stuff for my events. Cause these blankets don't always go to my events with me. And so these are more like leisure projects. The other ones are leisure projects, but I'm more so like making them to like turn a profit. So these are really like leisure content stuff. I only go live working on these blankets, and I used to work on them when I wasn't live, but I've gotten so much busier since I started doing these that I don't really have time to work on them when I'm not live. Yeah, and I had stopped doing events for a while, but I said this year, since I was feeling a lot better and that I'm not working full time, I'm working part time. So I was gonna pick my events back up again. I'm working as a sub at one school. But I did an event this weekend, I did an event last weekend, then I got one coming up in 3 weeks. So that's like what I have got going on. And I'm trying to figure out if, and then the one that I did this weekend is inviting me to do it like it's free, and they were like, well, we're going to do it the first Saturday of for the summer. So I'm trying to decide if I actually want to follow through with it, because I am getting tired, and plus I have kids and I'm married, so that's a lot. So, and that's the reason why I said I was gonna wait till June to start going live 4 days a week again, because they're in school right now, and so they take up a lot of my time because yes, they are sports kids, so they just ended track, and they getting ready to go back into football season over the summer, so I have to like, kind of work around them and their sports and academics and stuff. But soon it'll all be a little ironed out over there. At least I get a couple months, maybe a month to myself to like, just go live at least the way I want to go live any time of the day. Usually I can't go live because I'm like, gotta go pick them up from school, or I gotta pick them up from practice, or gotta take them to school. So I have to go live around their schooling and practice. But yeah, gotta find a healthy balance. Uh-oh. So what you want to do? I thought I was gonna be able to save it, but it got locked up right there. I'm usually able to like stop it from jumping all the way off, but it got twisted up in that one spot. Because if you set your hand down, it'll start jumping. But you got to make sure it don't get twisted up on the way. All right, this should be 12 because I'm doing pearl stitches. And when y'all see me doing that, that's me loosening up the stitches before I do my pearl stitches because I'm doing them mid row. I'm not doing them on the end. When you do them on the end, they're looser. You just cut away the old one and then make a slip knot and start wrapping it like you never stop. It's kind of like starting a blanket over or starting a new blanket each time. And really you could put the color anywhere you like. So let me see. Let me grab a color. I guess I grab this pink. So let's say I finished this row. I'm just gonna push this side down. You cut it. If it was on this, cut this loose. Use I changed the color on the same side that I cut it on. But you cut the yarn loose. Make your slip knot. Place it on there. And just start back wrapping the same way. I normally don't wrap with my hands. And just start knitting off again. And it's changed colors. Thank you, Julie. And you start, when you knit this off, it'll lock the color in. It'll lock the new color in. I tend, I guess just, at least 6 inches because I want to go back and take my tapestry needle, something like, well, I don't know where my other one is right now. They're usually about this long. So I want it to at least stretch out long enough for me to like go back and hide it in behind on the border. So I leave it long enough. So I would say about 8 inches. Let me show you my other ones so you'll kind of have an idea. So this about about 8 inches. So I can leave it long enough so it'll so I can comfortably, hide it in behind it. And the extra, whatever excess I have off of these, I just put them into plushies. So I'm not like wasting it. Because a lot of people say, you wasting the yarn. No, it's pretty much going back into my other projects. I got a little waistband down here. I drop my yarn in, and when I'm running low on fiber, I mix it in there. Oh, no problem at all, Kathy. I love to. Sometimes I even overshare. But yeah, it doesn't bother me at all. So, yeah, I get that a lot where people like, you're wasting yarn. Nope, it's going to my plushie. So It's still gonna be used. Hi, Mariam. Miriam. Uh oh. That almost flew away. Uh oh. I just went to start bumping everything. And I'm keeping up with the rows with my garter stitch border because there's two stitches in the garter stitch. So that's the way I'm keeping up with my rows. So when I'm on this row, I know I started with purl stitches. So this is my even row. I always start and end with purl stitches on my even row. All my odd rows are all E-stitch. And I do it in a certain order because I have ADHD. So I'm like, so I can talk and stuff and get distracted and I can just keep going without thinking about what I'm doing. So I'm kind of doing it on like a automation, autopilot. So I'm working on autopilot so I can talk and stuff. So I'm just doing it because, my mind is expecting that same step each time. So I do all my purl stitches at one time and then I knit off and do all my E-stitches. And I try to wrap it in a certain direction because that's what's more comfortable for me. So I typically wrap with it facing this side in the, if I'm going from that side. Got 4 more rows to do. I try to remind myself that because I get a little excited when I'm talking. When I'm explaining things, sometimes I get a little overly excited. And I'm just, like I said, I'm rapping on autopilot. So I'll just keep rapping and working while I'm excitedly talking. And I'll accidentally go over the amount of rows that I'm working on. And, that I'm supposed to do. Thanks so much for the likes. I appreciate it. And I knit off a certain way, so I know you guys see me lifting up the loom, but you don't really have to. But with 4-weight yarn, I don't really like knitting off, because this is the way most people knit it off, like this. Is I don't really like knitting off my 4-weight yarn that way. Now if I were doing, you can do number 6-weight yarn on here as well. But when I'm doing number 6-weight yarn, I do it this way. But as far as number 4-weight, I find it more comfortable to do it that way. Hey, Sifting Some Soil, how you doing? It would be nice for me to have this done by the end of this month, though, to be honest. But I know that's not gonna happen. I'm doing pretty good. Just trying to be more intentional. That's good. You're doing good. I'm a little bit all over the place right now. I'm getting ready for another event, so I'm a little bit all over the place. Right now, I just finished my last series that I can watch. I'm trying to read. I'm trying to listen to audiobooks to avoid watching TV. Excuse me. Uh-oh. Right. Exactly. Same. Same. Especially lately. I'm like, what is TV? Today I didn't watch TV at all. I was like, let me put it on the audio book, because that's the only way I'm gonna make it. And I got another book lined up. I'm gonna listen to Bernie Mac book next. Especially since he they use his voice, so I can't wait to listen to it. I think it's gonna be a little funny here and there and something good to listen to. Thanks so much for the likes. Right, exactly. Same. That too. Mine is mostly when I'm ready to go to bed. All right, so this is 14. 14. And by then, I ain't trying to watch nothing new. I'm trying to put it on something that's boring so I can go and fall asleep. And I'm mostly trying to watch stuff that I haven't seen before so I don't get interested in it. Yeah, I think it'll help. I think the the thing would be to like just the variegated yarn with ADHD. Cause I've in the past I have fallen asleep working on like a baby blanket because the border, like this part, I don't do the news anymore. I can't even do the news. Now I do old sitcoms. I like watching Golden Girls and stuff like that. This part right here on a baby blanket, this right here takes me 2.5 hours. This part right here on the baby blanket takes me 2.5 hours. So it's like it's always this part because half of the stitches that goes in here, you have to do it by hand. You can't do it with the pen. The pearl stitch you can't do it with the pen. And so having to do all those like 100 and some individual stitches by yourself takes, without the pen takes even longer. So I've fallen asleep just in this little part with 125 stitches. Right now I'm doing 198. So this probably took me about 3 hours alone this time. But like 3 hours for this part, probably took me like 3 hours to do this part. 198 stitches in each row. So it's just, yeah, it's it's an interesting process. The variegating yarn is the most important when you first start. It'll get you past that hump. I already know what to like expect. I know how many rows I can get done in an hour or so. Thank you, Sally. I know how many rows I can get done in like an hour or so, so I'll be, it doesn't bother me as much as it used to. So I'm like, I'll sit here and be like, well, let me do about 25 more rows. That should get me to blah, blah, blah time. And then, just scale out my day that way. As long as I got an end goal or I know where I'm going, that helps a lot. If I don't know where I'm going, everything feels like a drag. So, And with variegated yarn, you really don't know. You really don't have to know where you're going, but the color, the different colors surprises you. Hi, Moab. Tomorrow I'll get started back on Mario. I haven't forgotten Mario. Part of me is saying I probably should put a um a stick, one of my craft sticks in there so he'll stand up nicely before I end up getting too far. I got like some where are those things? I got these wooden craft dowels. I got these that I can put in there before I get too far. It could go in his legs to help him stand up nicely. So I probably need to do that before I get too far because his body, his top part is gonna be heavy, and so I know he's not gonna stand up straight if I don't. Well, I didn't even think about the foot part too, but it's kind of too late for the foot part. I'll think about it. I might not even do it now because now that I think about it, the foot is not going to be stable either. Yeah, I'm working on a Mario. Hi, Just Gummy. I am making this is looming and it's a form of knitting, and I'm currently making a Slytherin blanket. But I was talking about those wooden dowels because I'm in the middle of making a crochet Mario. That's why I brought the dowels up. It was kind of like a squirreling off moment for me, the ADHD moment. Sandra. Thank you, Julie. Yeah, I actually I put those in my dolls too. So the doll that I have posted, I put that in there too. I'm thinking about keeping that doll, to be honest, and making clothes for the doll because I got a lot of ideas. And I just have to end up making another one. And right now I don't really feel like making another one, so I'm thinking about keeping the doll for myself. I got so much craft stuff in here. I saw someone making buttons today. I got some polymer clay back there, some oven baked polymer clay. I think I'm gonna use that and start making some buttons. I'm like, that'll be fun. And I got UV resin, so I can put that on top of my buttons. I'm sorry, I can't see what you're saying. But I am making a Slytherin themed blanket, and this is looming. It's a form of knitting. And I'm using number 4 weight yarn. I got this loom from Amazon, and you can use blanket yarn as well. Number 6 weight blanket yarn, or that petite those petite type blanket yarns out there. Even like the yarn, the fuzzy yarn they have at Dollar Tree. I can't think of what the name is right now. You can use all that. I'm pretty sure I got it sitting with me somewhere because I was using some chenille, the chenille yarn from Dollar Tree. You can use that on here. All right, we should be moving on to what's this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, this should be 16 right here. One more row. No, no, that was 14, so 2 more rows. I'm tripping. I forgot I counted up to 7. So 2 more rows, and then we change colors. And I hope y'all can hear me because YouTube likes to mute my sound a little bit when they hear all that extra noise in the background. The train just came through, so they kind of tone me down a little bit when that happens. I'm like, I like the train. It's not that loud. They do a lot of noise canceling. Uh-oh, wrap that twice. Good. Cause it'd be like I be muffled, and I'm just like, cause I've watched some of my lives back, and when it starts to get noisy in the background, they start to muffle me, and I'm like, I be annoyed. Cause I'm like, I be needing a sound. Good. Hi, Elsa. I'm gonna move this over here. I'm trying not to rock this thing. It's rocking weirdly. It ain't rock like that. Then when I change colors, I'll spread the blanket out for y'all so y'all can see it. And like any loom that I use, by the way, y'all see this hook in my hand, this KB hook. It's the only one I'll use. I won't use any other hook. Now it is pretty sharp, but not like needle sharp, but it's sharp enough to be like if you accidentally poke yourself, it'll be annoying. But I like it because I'm typically looking at the back of the pegs when y'all see the loom turned this way. I'm looking at the back of the peg, so I don't even know if I'm gripping it like consistently. But there's like a divot in between the pegs, and I just since this hook is so pointy, I can just go and do my best to grab it without trying to have it lean all the way up here so I can see. So it typically grabs the yarn on the first go, long as I go down far enough, because like I'm literally not looking at me grab this yarn. It's picking up pretty much the first time. So I only use this hook. I don't even know what I did with the other ones because I don't like them. There have been some that's pretty close to it, but I still don't like any other ones but this one. So sometimes when you're looming, sometimes it's the hook too. It's a dull hook that can make you frustrated too. On my last row, I have to remember that I'm on my last row. So when I make it to the end of this and I do all my purl stitches, I'm going to go ahead and cut the black so that I don't accidentally get excited and keep talking. I mean, keep rapping while I'm talking. Hi, Miss V. Okay, I'm gonna do that purl stitch. Borrow, borrow, borrow. Borrow some of that tension. Slip stitch this last peg, which is really e-stitching though, because since I wrapped it that way. I'm making a Slytherin themed blanket. Okay, that is separated. Tuck that in there. And now I can start knitting off again for this last row. And I'll flip it over and let y'all see it while Hi Carmen. Thank you, Miss V. I appreciate that. I'm gonna flip it over when I start threading the other color. We're getting ready to go back to hunter green. Uh-oh. Hi, Tasha. Thank you. For about 11 years, because I started off with the knitting needles, and then I switched to Loom, and then I've been crocheting for the past 4 years, so about 11 years. I'm obsessed. Now I saw somebody making punch needle plushies, y'all. So now I'm finna have another problem. I got some punch needle stuff that I can use. I just need some more fabric, and yeah. So I'm getting ready to start trying punch needle plushies because it was so cute. When I saw, I said I don't need nothing else. I do not need anything else added to my list of crafts. But you can do so much with fiber. Hi, Dawn. And I keep saying I'm gonna make myself some clothes, but I keep hop, skipping, and jumping to plushies. Anything I can make do plushies. Going back down. Do right, do right. Okay, let me push all these pegs down, then I'm gonna flip it over for y'all. I don't know how long it is right now because I'm trying to figure out what I did with my measuring tape. I have another one, but I was like, I don't even know if that one is long enough, so I haven't even tried to measure it. So I'm not even gonna tell y'all a story. I'm just going. Push all that down in there. All right, flip that over. Let's see. I need this. Lay that down. All right, Hunter Green. Is that Hunter Green? Yes, it is. Hi, Paula. And what I do with my pen? Where are you, pen? All right, so this is the way you change colors. We're just gonna grab our new yarn. Drop it down into our pen. And the pen can this is an old hollowed out clicking office pen. You can still see the logo on it or whatever. But it'll pretty much, it can handle like wide or big eye needle pen or tapestry pen. Not the plastic ones, but you know, these iron ones. So if you want to like take the little short ones or one like this one, you can go down. It'll work down in your pens. And I've tried this with two different pens, and it went down through there with both of them. It was tight at first, but the more you do it, it'll kind of wear it open for you. So you can do it. Take your tapestry needles and go down through your pen with them. Now that's the blanket so far. I'm gonna kind of roll it back up so that it's not hanging off the table. And this is the back side of it, so y'all can see that it opens up to 5 feet. So this is one end, and that's the other end. So it opens up to 5 feet. This is like the middle part of it. And to get it that way, because I get a lot of those questions, I leave 2 of them open, 2 pegs open right here, but you don't have to. You can just make sure that you don't accidentally connect the row. But since I'm not confident that I won't connect the row, I leave 2 open. I used to leave 1 open and I still connected it. So I stayed away from leaving 1 open. I leave 2 open. So it's whatever you're comfortable with. And you can pretty much start the blanket anywhere you like. Okay, so I cut my yarn a loose. I cut this a loose. Thank you, Sally. on this side, so that is where I'm gonna put my yarn back at on that side, because that's where I separated it at. And when I put it on here, I just try. It probably may not make a difference. Make sure the tail goes out to that side on the edge of the blanket, and I put my slip knot on there. I almost put my slip knot on there backwards, but make sure it's pointing that way, going that way. All right, put that down through there, and that's your color change. You literally just did your color change, and just start wrapping as if you never, cut the yarn loose and did your color change. After, when I finish, I'm gonna have to tie it in a knot and hide the yarn after I get done. Now, some people go ahead and do theirs, but I just wait till I get to a certain point. But I will do it before I take it off, because if I don't do it before I take it off, I shut down. My brain, if I cast this blanket off with the yarn hanging out, my brain is gonna be like, okay, we're done. You've taken it off the loom, you're done with it. Like, we're done. We're not doing anything else to it. So I have to go ahead and hide all my strands before I take it off the loom, or I'll shut down. Cause for me, casting it off, it's like, you done, girl. We did that. And we did our thing. We finished. So I have to go ahead and hide mine before I take it off. Because if I take it off, it's like, that's one more thing I got to do. I'm dreading it. But if it's still on here, my brain is still in. We have to get this done. We still working on it. So as long as it's still on the loom, I haven't shut down. And I also have 3 of these. So if I typically have a blanket on this loom and I want to make a baby blanket, like I need a break from working on this really big blanket, excuse me, I'll make a baby blanket on one of the other ones, or start another blanket, or I work on smaller projects to help me to get that instant gratification while I'm working on these. So that'll help you too if you have ADHD or, like, ADD or whatever. It'll help to, like, do, like, smaller projects in the meantime. That way you get that instant gratification that you're working on something, and you getting something completed while you're waiting on this to get done. I've also made a beanie on this loom while the blanket was on the loom. All 3 of my blankets had something on them, and I was like, I need a loom real quick, and I was making a hat and a baby blanket on the same loom at one time. So I've made it work. Thank you, Bunna Ray. So I'm just saying, it can be done. So if you got just one loom and you like, I need to do another project on here real quick, and I want to make the hat as big as I want to, you can actually make a beanie on here with, like, as long as I knit off all of this and I push it all down, I can make a beanie on here real quick, and then just take it off and then continue doing the blanket. Thank you, HM Hug. So if you don't want to be like, I got 3 of these because I need to have a lot of projects going, you can actually start another project on top of this one and just complete it, and then go back to doing what you're doing. Thank you, Sally. So I'm just putting it out there, y'all. I have done it. I've made a beanie on here while I had a baby blanket going, because I had something on all the looms. Y'all have 30 minutes left. Uh-oh, I knocked some yarn. Sound like I knocked some yarn in the floor. Good thing it's cotton because I can clean it. Let's see what fell back there. Oh, yeah. I got all this cotton yarn sitting on the table, so I'm making purses. Yes, I have videos showing how I start them. I will on next Monday. I'm actually gonna start a new one. I'm still gonna be working on this one, but um, I started this one over on TikTok. So I was like, because I've been requested to make a Ravenclaw, and I want to go ahead and get it started. So that way I can kind of mix up the content a little bit. So next Monday I will be starting the Ravenclaw blanket here. Since I started this one on TikTok, I wanted to start this one, the Ravenclaw blanket on here. So if you want to see how I start one, you can tune in on Monday. I'll do one on live. But I do have some live replays where I did start a blanket. But I'm gonna be doing a real time next Monday. I have awesome. Look forward to it. What I'll do is I don't have I'm gonna probably take that other blanket off that other loom. I have like 2 extra looms that I can use. So I'm gonna show y'all how to start it as a beginner, and then I'll show y'all how I started because, well, I could just start it as a beginner and then take it off and then start it the way I want to start it. So I'll show y'all how to start it as a beginner, and then I take it loose and start it the way I like to start my blankets because I'm really particular about it. But I just wanted to make sure y'all get all the options that y'all can see. The reason why I said it so many times because I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, oh, I can do it all at one time. So this is me like talking myself through it, like, oh, we can do that. We can make that work. Even if you don't clear off the other blanket, we can make that work. So I'm having a whole conversation with myself in my head, like, yeah, we can do that. We can make that work. And I'll be here 8 p.m. Central. So I'll be here 2 hours. And I typically just do the same thing for all my blankets. There's a lot of different stitches you can use, but I don't really like, my ADHD does not really like doing very tedious, tasky things. And once it gets hip to something that's already tedious, I'm just gonna keep repeating that same thing over and over because I make all my blankets the same way. So I'm like, why? If the colors are awesome, if I got like 5 different colors in there, 3, 2. Long as the colors are awesome, I'm like, we can just still use the same thing. I don't know. That's totally, the questions don't bother me at all. It's a KB Afghan loom, and you can get it from Amazon. It doesn't bother me at all. No problem at all. So yeah, in like the past, I think it's been 4 years since I've been making blankets. I've only deviated from this same pattern that I'm using 2 times, maybe 3. The reason why I say maybe 3 is because if I the other times that I've deviated from it is was all E stitches. So all E stitches compared to what I'm doing now is like even easier. But since I'm very particular about the blanket not curling and all that stuff, I'm gonna do like this whole process to keep the borders from curling. But if I'm just making like a gift, I'll do all E stitches. And the other time I did was I was trying a basket weave blanket, and I only got like a foot in, probably like 10 inches to a foot into that blanket, and I quit. too too detailed. But I was like, I'm gonna try and reattempt it with some variegated yarn. So hopefully, if I start back trying different stitches with variegated yarn, that'll probably help me do graduate from just doing one pattern most of the time. So this is the one pattern I do most of the time. Now I have done like different type of beanies and baby booties and stuff like that, because those are smaller projects. When it comes to bigger projects, I just be like, look, let's just make a blanket and do the same stitches, same pattern. But I know I can do more. It's just, not very interested in doing more mentally. Especially now since I've learned how to make pants with crochet. I'm like, sis, just do it. You know how to do it. If you know how to do it with crochet, you know how to do it with knitting. Just do it. It can be done. On the loom, anyway. I don't not quite know how to do it on the needles. I'm a basic needle knitter. It usually takes me 6 weeks, but I have finished one in 3 weeks. So if I can hyperfixate and somebody is like depending on me to get it, like I feel like it's an emergency type thing, even though it's not really an emergency. Let's say like the one I got done in 3 weeks was like a Christmas gift, and they asked for it like very close to Christmas, like a month within a month of Christmas, and I really wanted them to have it, and I really wanted to do it, so I finished it in 3 weeks. And if it's all E-stitch, I can finish it faster too. So if it's all E-stitch, I can finish it in a month. But if I'm this the process that I'm going through now, it'll take no more than 6 weeks because I'm doing multiple stitches. And it depends on how much time I got to dedicate to it. Like this blanket I would have been done with it, but I ran out of yarn and then I started back doing craft markets. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. It's more like a ADHD thing though. If I get very excited about a project or I feel like that's the only time you can get me to like really hone in and focus. If I feel like it's like an emergency, and then I'm like, yeah, let's get this done. Let's speed. But that's about the only time I can focus in. Then after that, I'll crash for like a whole day. I don't know why I'm twisting this blanket like that. I normally turn the thing. Why I'm twisting it, I don't know. All right, let's bring that in. All these stitches. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Now I do gotta. I am a serial crafter, and I do got a lot of other stuff sitting back there that I don't want to talk about. Cause it's sad when I looked at somebody make some buttons today, and I was like, I got some and I haven't used it in like 3 years. I got some not air dry clay. I got some oven baked clay back there. I wonder if it's still good. I'm like, I'm gonna make some buttons. If it's still good, we're gonna make some buttons. Cause it's still in the packet. So I'm just like, it's oven baked. So hopefully it'll be all right. Yeah, yep. You sure right, Claro. That's how I've been right now. For the most part, everything is pretty much a chore because I'm making stuff for my. I don't want to. I didn't want to say it out loud, but everything is a chore for the most part because I have craft markets coming up. So that has been the motivation as of late to get stuff done. And then the more I post content, everybody's like, I want that. So then that's like more stuff to make because I gotta make somebody something. So then having somebody rely on me for something helps too. But they don't always work either, because having somebody, you gotta, sometimes you gotta stay away from it being like a job too. Right, exactly. It gotta be needed. Sometimes I got to have a need in order to make it through. I gotta have somebody dependent on me. Hi, BTS. Y'all got 15 minutes left, and I know with 15 minutes, that's like this row and one more row. So I only got like two more rows left. Yep. Yes. HM hug. Yes. Yes. I get I get like that ASMR tingling feeling too. So that's an obsession too. I want to do that, Jennifer. I want to do that. I've been wanting to do that for a while now. So ever since I started seeing people going to the thrift store and recycling sweaters and stuff like that, and I'm just like, t-shirt yarn, all that stuff would be really nice right now. Hi, Michelle. I'm making a Slytherin theme blanket, BTS. A 5 foot wide. I'm thinking about going up to 7 feet. 5 foot by 7 foot wide. I mean 5 feet wide by 7 feet long. Slytherin blanket. Thank you, Claro. The next I'll be starting what is it? Ravenclaw next week. Now I won't be done with this one, but is you guys are due for me to make to start a blanket on here. So that's why I'm gonna start a blanket on here. It's been like a minute since I've started a new blanket on YouTube, so I'm gonna just update a live, update my lives on starting a blanket, and that'll be next week, and we'll be switching back and forth between Ravenclaw and Slytherin. But Slytherin should be done by next month. Fingers crossed, because I just got a lot going on. Thanks so much for the likes. I just have a lot going on. And so Slytherin is taking me just a little bit longer than what I want to. But I am planning on putting a snake on here. And I just got to go look at a couple of videos or a couple of pictures and see how I want to make that happen. And it's going to be crochet. It's not gonna be loom knit snake. It's gonna be, or I could make a tube and just twist it and wind it. So I'll think about it. It's a lot to it can be done, because I could take this loom here and make it as long as I would like to, and make it into a really long tube and then just sew it onto here. So it can be done. Now that I'm thinking about it, I want it to all be loom knitted, so then I'm gonna do it that way. Sometimes I try to stick to all you guys could go back and replicate. If I do something, I try to like, but I like mixing up knitting and crocheting because of convenience. But for this blanket, I'm going to do it all loom knit, so that if you guys want to replicate it, you can. Awesome, Karen. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, BTS. But yeah, so cause I've been thinking about it for a minute. At first, I wasn't gonna put a snake on there because I couldn't think of how to put one on there, but I can crochet one. But now that I done figured out in my mind how to put one on there with that little baby loom, I'll just do it that way. Thank y'all so much for the likes. Now I'm excited. Now I'm excited to finish it because I'm like, oh, I got something else to look forward to, and I got to make it before I take it off of here. Because if I take it off and then I make the snake, it's gonna be annoying. So now I'm pretty excited about that. Oh, that's fine. I don't get too crazy about that. And Karen, because I'm dyslexic, so I try not to be like all over the place about people about comments and stuff. I try to understand them as best as I can. Like you could have said something really weird and I still would have associated it with whatever I'm doing. It happens. So I'm just like, I'm dyslexic. I don't like for people to be all over me about that. So I try not to be all over other people about, anything that's, it's not life threatening. So it's fine. You definitely won't get that from me. And if you get it from anybody else, I'll come to the rescue and behind you. So there's none of that over here. You should have saw live last week. It was funny. We were talking about autocorrect, and autocorrect kept messing up somebody's comments. It was so funny. Ooh, I've been interested in doing those. I've never gotten around to that, Karen. Um, I don't know yet. BTS. If someone asks for it, yes, I will. But my husband kind of like he kind of hinted that he may try to take this, and so we'll see. Of course, he's gonna like. I need some compensation for it. Cause I asked him what colors to use, and he was very specific about not adding that light gray into it. Cause I'm like, should I think I should add light gray into it because I could have sworn Slytherin had looked like gray in it. And so then he was like, no, no, don't put the light gray in there. So I think he gonna take it. He already took my other one. I'm at. I guess we'll do a trade off. We'll see. if he don't want it, somebody else asks for it. I'll just tell him somebody asked for it. You, Michelle, yes, you'll get there. I promise. So what I did to get this fast, I played time games with myself. I'm I've raced against the clock, so that's how I got this fast. And when I'm at the end of lives, I normally do it the fastest. I rap the fastest, but right now I'm running my mouth, so I'm not running my hands. But when I'm on live and I only have 30 minutes left, that's when I really speed up and I be like, "Oh, let's see how many rows I can get in before my 30 minutes run out." So that's what's helped me go faster. I like to play little games. I like to feel like I'm doing something. Oh, that's cool. I like that, Karen. I ended up working on this blanket, y'all. It's a very kind of an interesting way. The reason why I ended up on the Slytherin blanket. So I made someone a cow. The person does not watch Harry Potter. And they were like, they wanted a dark green and a light green and black mixed in. So that's how I ended up with this. And then someone else saw it and they was like, ooh, Slytherin colors. And I went to talking about it on live, talking about the cow on live. And I was like, I should probably do a Slytherin blanket. So now I'm doing all the houses, and I usually only do one 5 foot wide blanket in a year. In a year. So now I'm like, we gotta do 4 this year. And I hope I can get it done before Christmas, because that'd be perfect to have finished them all um in fall or Christmas time. It'd be perfect. So hopefully I can get it done. Fingers crossed. I've never done 4 in a year. I've done 2 in a year. I did 2 last year. But last year was like wild. I did one in 8 months, and these blankets were exactly the same. I was not feeling good last year. I finished one in eight months, and I finished one in 6 weeks, and they were the exact same blanket. Nothing different. Nothing different except the initials that I end up sewing onto the blanket with crochet. And one took me 8 months, and the other one took me 6 weeks. The other one I got it done November, between October, November. No, at the beginning of November to December. I got it done Christmas Day. And the other one I started in February and then didn't get it done to Christmas Day. February or March, and then get it done until Christmas Day. Because I had to sew the name on there. So uh-oh. This is my last row, y'all. I am gonna flip it over and let y'all look at it. Even though it's not much change since the last time I let y'all look at it, except for like maybe an inch. But I know new people come in often, so I'm gonna let y'all see it before I get off live. And then I wow, that is awesome. I'm glad you were able to find something like that to do in between time though. I bet that was a pretty very therapeutic. That's good. Right, right, Giovanna. Agreed. I couldn't imagine. I was at a loss for words because that's amazing. Alrighty, y'all. Awesome. That's good, Karen. That's awesome. That was my last roll, y'all. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me and keeping me company. Same, Giovanna. I will be back on next Monday from 8 to 10 p.m. Central. We will be starting Ravenclaw blanket from the beginning. No problem at all. We will be starting Ravenclaw from the beginning. So if you guys want to come in and see me start Ravenclaw, I will be here. I'm probably gonna what I'll do since I have you guys coming in at that time. I'll try and do like a countdown live, like I'll schedule it out. That way we can, I can have you guys ready. But thank y'all so much. I haven't scheduled a live, in a minute. But yeah. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I think I'm gonna go in the house and go to sleep because I started live sleepy. And so yeah. See hopefully hoping to see you guys back here on next week. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your night. I really appreciate you guys for hanging out with me and keeping me company. See you guys later. Good night. Good night, Giovanna. Good night, everyone.